Welcome to the deep dive. Okay, so today we are really strapping in. We're going way back to 1995, hitting the pavement hard.
Yeah, definitely. We're going to tear apart a really fascinating stack of source material. The complete lyrics from Powerman 5000's industrial metal album, Blood-Splat Rating System.
Mhm.
It's intense
It
stuff.
really is. This is aggressive, super dense material. And, our mission here is to try and cut through all that noise, the violence, the kind of surreal imagery,
Right.
to really extract the core vision. What were they saying about conflict, about societal breakdown, back in the mid-90s?
And that context, the mid-90s, is so important for you, the listener, to keep in mind. I mean, this album dropped at a really interesting point.
Yeah.
You still had that sort of leftover grunge alienation, but it was meeting this rising anxiety almost from the first tech boom.
Okay.
So the band, this industrial metal group from the US, they basically grabbed that feeling, that sense of systems just falling apart, and they packaged it into this chaotic, really hyper-stylized aggression. So yeah, our job is to dissect this intense lyrical world, understand its themes, alienation, brutal social commentary.
And that feeling you mentioned,
Yeah,
that reality itself is just wobbly, unstable.
exactly. Unstable is the perfect word. Logic, reality, it's all presented as constantly shifting.
Yeah, the album definitely doesn't ease you in. It just throws you straight into this
Mhm.
this grotesque, high-speed spectacle where nothing feels safe.
Mhm.
So let's start there, right, with this opening burst of chaos and what it costs to even look at it. So the world this album kicks off with, it's defined by this chaotic, really grotesque spectacle. Track 1, Public Menace, Freak, Human Fly.
Right.
It's literally presented as a sideshow.
Yeah, but not like a charming old-timey one. It's deeply unsettling.
Totally.
It's absolutely memorable, though. The band just parades out these unforgettable, almost like commercialized tragedies. Well, you've got the man with the plastic face, that stretched smile, the girl who's 1,200 pounds, the rat boy doing his rat dance, the skeleton girl. It's like an industrialized carnival of the deformed.
Wow. And this whole spectacle seems fueled by this impossible speed, right? The lyrics specifically mention moving from mud hut to skyscraper in the wink of an eye.
Yeah, that juxtaposition is key. Primitive to ultra-modern in zero time.
But what's the payoff for all this crazy speed, this tech jump? The punchline seems to be that the freak show is always up for sale.
Right. Dollar a look. It's crass. It's commercial.
And that speed, that sudden commercialization, it feels like it leads right into the nihilistic rush of track 3, Car Crash.
Oh, yeah. It's a good point putting car crash here thematically. It's just pure nihilistic kinetic energy. It doesn't offer any meaning, just immediate catastrophic destruction.
Red, the lines the road, 225, the fearless explode.
Exactly. And it highlights these violent, almost mythological figures. The supernova gets burned like toast, the toe cutter.
So it's about total, unavoidable loss,
Yeah.
but experienced at maximum velocity, pretty much. It really sets the stage for the rest of the album. Speed plus chaos equals disaster. It's a formula. Okay,
Yeah.
so we've got the speed, the spectacle. Then we get to the core dilemma in track 2, Neckbone. Now we're suddenly asked to make choices, but they seem absurd, unresolvable.
Mm-hmm.
You're forced into these binaries, neck bone or backbone, fire or freeze, and even something as mundane as paper plastic.
Mm-hmm.
But the band's conclusion is, what? That the choice doesn't matter.
Essentially, yeah. They scream that there's no real victory, no actual beneficial choice. They state, there ain't no difference in the left-right, and that repeated line.
It's all the same to me.
Exactly. It's weary, resigned.
So is this just standard counterculture cynicism, politics is pointless, that kind of thing?
Mm-hmm.
Or is there something deeper here about how the system is set up?
I think it's darker than just cynicism. Much darker. They use a very specific phrase. Kobayashi Maru, what you gonna do? The Star Trek reference. Right. For you, the listener, that's the famously unwinnable training simulation. The whole point of that test is facing inevitable defeat.
Okay.
So the track uses it to say that the choices the system gives you, the neckbone or backbone choices, are designed so you lose. Defeat is the only outcome.
Wow.
And then the track kind of weaponizes that frustration. It pivots and makes this really direct, provocative statement right at the audience.
What does it say?
This is combat rock for the masses, but I fear the masses need to get their asses kicked quick.
Whoa. So it's not just rejecting the system, it's rejecting the listeners too.
It feels like it. A total aggressive rejection.
Okay, so that feeling, being trapped in this unwinnable game, it seems like it forces the focus inward, right? In Earth versus Me, the conflict isn't just watching the freak show anymore. It's active paranoid struggle.
Yeah.
Yeah, the source of the conflict gets really ambiguous. The narrator's trying to figure out who the enemy even is. Could it be the enemy within or just them?
Yeah.
So it frames that internal struggle through intense paranoia.
Totally. It explicitly says, the thoughts that I think are paranoid, the thoughts that I think I can't avoid, the world is closing in and maybe the danger is inside you. And the lyrics even map out this chillingly methodical process for how the conflict destroys you. A 4-step formula. An industrialized formula for subjugation laid out right there. Step 1, dehumanize. Step 2 is when you realize. Step 3, humiliate. Step 4, recreate. Realizing isn't the escape then, it's just step 2.
Exactly. It suggests realization only leads to humiliation, which then lets the system rebuild you into something else, presumably something compliant.
That's bleak. Very. And if we look outward again, that internal paranoia, it's mirrored by the environment itself being actively predatory. You see that so clearly in track 5, a swim with the sharks.
Yeah, the imagery there is intense, pure survival mode. The danger isn't hidden, it's smiling right at you. When they smile, just cut off your legs.
I mean, that's a fundamentally brutal way to view social interaction, isn't it?
Definitely.
And the lyrics immediately crank up the stakes with that classic pop culture warning, telling the listener.
All I've got to say, you're going to need a bigger boat. The Jaws reference.
So whatever threat the narrator's facing, it's massive. It's relentless. It needs blockbuster-level firepower.
So if you can't trust yourself, and the outside world is literally trying to eat you, where do you go?
Well, the next logical step seems to be embracing this kind of anti-hero vengeance, which is where track 6, Tokyo Vigilante #1 comes in.
Right. This figure offers personalized justice, but it's different, isn't it? He kills with his mind, not with a gun.
Yeah, it's mental power over brute force. But what's really intriguing is that this vengeance, it isn't presented as righteous, it's commodified.
Outside.
The vigilante says everybody needs a little vengeance, but then flatly states, I'll kill any man for a fee. So it's like
Vengeance is a service.
basically an industrialized form of personal justice playing out against this brutal urban backdrop, blood in the streets of downtown Tokyo. Justice is just another transaction, and it's violent. So once the fighting, internal and external, really kicks off, the whole structure holding things together seems to just collapse. Track 7, Organized, feels like the philosophical core of that breakdown.
Yeah, that one's wild. It suggests that even trying to create order is fundamentally insane. It presents this amazing contradiction right at the heart of the organization itself. Confusion is the heart of stability. Stability is the heart and soul of insanity. So the stability we think we want is actually built on craziness. How does that even work? How is that stability maintained?
According to the lyrics, it's maintained by controlling what's considered real. This is where the band really touches on manufactured reality.
Okay. The text gives you this incredible line. When you recreate the fact, you recreate the factual. What was never here becomes the actual.
Wow. So the organization isn't just governing, it's literally warping reality to fit its needs.
Exactly. Convincing everyone they're getting organized, even while the world is actually falling apart around them. That's why you, the listener, might feel like you can't tell if the system is crazy or if you are.
And that sense of ultimate breakdown, it leads us to the metaphor of just. Total defeat in track 9, standing 8.
The boxing reference, the 8 count when you're trying to get back up, but everyone knows you're probably done for. And the narrator is told they basically did it to themselves. You can't look to me when you sealed your own fate.
Yeah, and the band meticulously charts that downward spiral, that painful progression of defeat.
How does it break down?
Well, it starts with checking the eyes, sensing indecision, then progresses to getting weak in the knees, the loss of brain cells, and ultimately just going to hell. The fight is over. Lost.
And then what? Then the system offers the defeated figure one last choice, another binary, echoing those absurd dichotomies from the beginning. Much due respect or beat into submission. Okay, so respect in defeat or just get crushed completely.
Seems like it. No other way out. That feeling of inescapable doom, it really culminates in the final act of disillusionment, doesn't it? The track that just yanks the rug out from under any lingering hope. Even Superman shot himself.
Yeah, we kind of have to pause here. That premise, just the title alone, it says so much about the album's whole emotional state. Goddamn, even Superman shot himself.
It's the ultimate fall from grace, the symbol of strength.
Man of Steel fell with a thud.
Just like that.
And the lyrics are pretty specific about what brought him down, aren't they? It
Yeah.
wasn't like Lex Luthor or Kryptonite.
No, not some epic battle. The sources tell us it was the little things that drive a man crazy.
The little things.
Right.
Like what?
Well, the crushing weight of just ordinary daily insanity. Maybe just reading the Sunday paper, seeing the murder, front page death and rape, that kind of constant low-level horror.
So it suggests that hope isn't destroyed in one big explosion, but by profession.
A slow grind, exactly.
It implies this theft of the soul bit by bit, piece by piece, they're stealing it. It's the cumulative stress of constantly fighting an environment that's designed to just wear you down, not necessarily blow you up in one go. And the album doesn't exactly end on a note of quiet contemplation, does it?
Not at all. It ends with raw, furious anger, deep disillusionment, sealed with that really dark reference.
Like Travis Bickle said, suck on this from Axie Dragger.
Yeah, it's just this nihilistic, aggressive middle finger to the entire system that managed to break even the ultimate hero. So if we, pull back and look at the whole picture, the emotional landscape of this album, it feels like an overwhelming blueprint for a certain kind of modern cynicism.
How do you mean?
It's this potent mix of, like, high-octane, confrontational energy, but fused with this really deep-seated existential fatigue. And underneath it all is this absolute refusal to trust any established structure. Whether that's logic or organizations or even traditional heroism like Superman, nothing is reliable.
And it's strange because listening now, for you, the listener, that intense imagery from 1995, it feels weirdly familiar, doesn't it? Even in 2024.
Totally.
We're constantly presented with those kinds of absurd dichotomies, neck bone or backbone, option A or option B, often with that gut feeling that it's all somehow compromised. That makes...
And it's all the same to me.
Okay.
And I think the album's ultimate point, its deepest despair, comes down to that vulnerability of the seemingly invincible.
Superman.
Right. If even Superman, the absolute symbol of hope and strength, is ultimately vulnerable to the crushing weight of those little things that drive a man crazy. Well, what does that say about the resilience of the systems we rely on, the beliefs we hold on to?
Yeah. So maybe the closing thought for you is this. What little thing, maybe that daily drain, that small compromise you make, that persistent little lie you tell yourself, what little thing are you ignoring right now that might actually be causing the most fundamental damage to your own system? Something to think about as you navigate your own, maybe equally chaotic reality.